everyone is asking, what can I do? You can do two things. Control your own and your teenager showers. And when you turn off the water, you say, take that, Putin.
Putin isn't the one flooding our borders, having drag queen story time. Putin's not the one shipping fentanyl in here. Putin's not the one devaluing our dollar. Putin's not the one shutting down the Keystone Pipeline.
Putin's invasion of Ukraine has driven up gas prices and food prices all over the world. To help deal with that, yesterday I authorized the release of 1 million barrels per day for the next 6 months from our Strategic Petroleum Reserve.
Goldman Sachs out with a note calling the coordinated oil reserves released by the U.S. and other nations a drop in the ocean.
Even if all of the oil we use in the USA were made in the USA, the price of it is still subject to powers and dynamics outside of the USA, which means that until we achieve a form of energy independence that is based on clean energy created here at home, American citizens will still be vulnerable to wild price hikes.
Putin's not the one trying to take your guns.
Those who say the blood of patriots, you know, and all the stuff about how we're going to have to move against the government. Well, the tree of liberty is not water with the blood of patriots. What's happened is that there never been, if you wanted to think you need to have weapons to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons.
No, it's the New World Order.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order.
Well, everyone is talking about a new world order. What does that even mean? What will the new world order look like? Who will control it? What has been touted as a right-wing conspiracy theory for the past few decades is now just loosely falling out of the mouths of global leaders everywhere. But before we get to the various world leaders touting a new world order, including Biden, Putin, Xi Jinping, the World Economic Forum, and others, let's talk about the people claiming it's a big conspiracy theory. The Anti-Defamation League categorizes the phrase New World Order under extremism, terrorism, and bigotry. They define it as, quote, a term used to refer to a right-wing conspiracy theory that became popular among anti-government extremists from the 1990s onwards. New World Order conspiracists believe that a tyrannical socialist one-world conspiracy has already taken over most of the planet and schemes to eliminate the last bastion of freedom, the United States, with the help of collaborators within the government. Through repressive measures, as well as manufactured crises such as terrorist attacks and pandemics, the globalist conspirators seek to eliminate dissent and to disarm Americans so that the New World Order can move in and enslave them.
Everything the radical left touches turns into a catastrophic mess, the likes of which we have never seen before. To this extent, we have never seen anything like it before. Biden and the congressional Democrats triggered massive inflation. They declared war on American energy, and the middle class is now being crushed by the highest gas and food prices in the history of our country. Can you believe it?
And I'm deeply proud of the work she's doing as First Lady with Joining Forces initiative she started with Michelle Obama when she was vice president and now carries on.
People really, really get that this guy is a mega, massive disaster. Now, the globalists wanted him to be in there to take the blame for their Build Back Better collapse civilization. You got to collapse civilization to build back better. So when you hear build back better, that means collapse, enslave you, cut your resources off, make you dependent on the system for depopulation efforts that come in the next phase. But but he's so bad that it's really even hurt the New World Order now. As usual, the best laid plans of mice and men often go astray. The trajectory, where we're going, everything that's been set into motion, nobody can turn it around. Not the New World Order, not us, only God. I've been syndicated by GCN for 25 years, and I've been in the time slot we're in for 23 years, the Rush Limbaugh slot. They wanted me to go up against Limbaugh. I didn't want to, but Ted said, you got the job, I'll pay you the money, and I'll put you on all these stations if you do it. And we exploded from day one. And over the years, talk radio's gotten in trouble and collapsed and gotten small with the audiences has per capita, but still together it's huge. We have 300 plus affiliates. We reach millions of people a day through them. And Ted owns a few other companies, and he went from GCN being very, very popular and very, very profitable to still being extremely Popular with 750 plus affiliates and over 60 shows they syndicate, gardening shows, liberal shows, conservative shows. And he's just been putting his own money in the last 3 years into it and breaking even. But the Democrat Party anti-gun group, you never say their name because they live off us, we don't live off them. They sued him over the years. He spent something like $500,000 fighting him in the last 4 years. And finally they came to him a few months ago and they said, just give us that network, take Alex Jones off the air, and we'll forgive you. But if you don't, we're going to destroy you. And they sent his insurance company a threat of $500 million. This is just ridiculous and preposterous, for our free speech if he didn't turn things over. They want me off the air, which is ridiculous because we're already syndicated ourselves years ago. But Ted's still there, and we got over 80 affiliates with him. And so I told Ted, I said, what do you need to go through the trial with these people coming up this summer? And he said, well, they tell me about $300,000. If you'll just get me half of that, because Ted's, getting a super rich guy. He's blown through a lot of his money over the years, keeping us on air. He said, I will not basically just close this place. But he said, that's what they're saying. And so we put out the address at GiveSendGo of SaveGCN.com, and listeners raised about $25,000, and that's great. I appreciate that. But we need to raise him over $100,000, and he'll match the money to fight these people over the next year or so, and not just give in to what they want. And again, the world will be a whole other place in a year. We need to stay on air now. We're not worried about the money, our networks, any of this. We're just simply trying to fight hard until the end with this whole situation. And so it all goes to keep us on the air and to stand up for Ted, that stood up for freedom so long, and to fight this legal battle. SaveGCN.com, SaveGCN.com. And they need to raise $80,000 at least. Or I told him, I said, I'll pay for it. I don't have that extra money right now, but I'll get it one way or another. I sold my house. I've been putting all the money in to keep this place going the last 3 months. That's fine. But I mean, we're down to the wire, just like you see in the news with war and COVID and all of it. This is the beginning of very serious times. So we need to stay on air, and God's working through you to keep us on air. So I want you to go to SaveGCN, SaveGCN.com, SaveGCN.com, and donate to get Ted the money he needs to continue that fight. SaveGCN.com. It gives Send Go, because they're literally trying to shut down the radio network we're on one way or another to get us. And that'd be like, cutting our left hand off. It wouldn't feel good. We can keep fighting. But it's definitely them just hacking through, burning through, getting the bank accounts, taking the sponsors, suing us, deplatforming us, just attack. And that's fine, because they're going down. The New World Order's going down. Everybody's aware of who they are and what they're up to. But we need to stay in attack formation to the end and not stop. So go to SaveGCN.com, SaveGCN.com. Go to SaveGCN.com and make a donation. I appreciate you. Hey, I'm not pressuring you if you don't, but if you think what we've done is important and you want to invest in freedom and free speech and put your finger in the eye of George Soros, this is the place to donate, SaveGCN.com.